we have seen that there is Ishvara, the Lord, is reasonable to think. It is not an unreasonable belief. Some people may think that there is no way to prove it, but in fact, when you look at the creation and look at the order that is present, it is more reasonable to think that there must be a cause than to think that things are just random. We saw that this Ishvara is all knowledge which connects every object in the universe and makes it run in an orderly fashion, like the analogy of one thread which holds all the different beads together and makes it into a necklace, a beautiful creation. Now the question is, where is this all knowledge, Ishvara, the cause of the universe? If I think that this cause of the universe is in heaven, because I don't see that cause anywhere, everybody that I see has limited knowledge and limited capacity. So this all knowledge is not seen anywhere. If all knowledge is not seen anywhere, the all knowledge does not rest with any given entity in the creation, then I presume that that Ishvara must be someplace in heaven. But the idea that Ishvara in heaven is something, if you inquire one step further, it falls apart. Because you can ask the question, who created heaven? Then you can say that Ishvara created the heaven. So where was this Ishvara before the heaven was created? Okay. So these are all the questions which cannot be answered, and therefore it requires better examination. And this verse shows exactly what is that nature of Ishvara and where can you find it. The verse goes, Rasohamapsu Kaunteya Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayoho Pranavas Sarva Vedeshu Shabdakhe Paurusham Nrushu. It's a big thing that Lord is saying that I am not somewhere in heaven, I am in fact in form of apaha is water. The rasa that is there in water is me. Then in the shashi, which is the moon, and the sun, that there is light, and that is me. The nrushu paurusham, the strength in a human being, is me. And also in the Veda, the meaning of the Veda, which reveals the nature of I and the reality, is also me. What does it mean? Don't think of me as sitting somewhere out there removed from the world. I am that is something which is everywhere. I am all pervading Ishvara. Okay? This particular thing has to be understood clearly. In the creation that we have seen before, the creation has to be understood in terms of two types of causes. Anytime there is something which is intelligently put together, it requires two different types of causes. One is the efficient cause and the other one is the material cause. Efficient cause is what we call in a common parlance maker. Okay? So the watch that I showed you has maker. It can be one person or it can be many. In the assembly line there are more than one person. Okay? And then there is a material, the steel, the wire from which the watch is made. Okay? Now if you go to the creation of the whole universe, where if you say Ishvara, the Lord, is the maker of the universe, you have to ask one more question: where is the material coming from? If you say that there is already some material which this Ishvara, the cause, used, then he is not a creator. Why? Because there is already a material. I would ask, who is the creator of that material using which this cause created the universe? So in the case of the ultimate cause, if you presuppose that there is already a material, then it does not fall in place. It goes against logic. The only logical explanation is that in the case of the final cause, the material cause and the maker, which is what we call efficient cause, has to be one. It cannot be two separate things. If Ishvara is both the maker as well as the material, then I can ask you the question, where is Ishvara? The maker of the watch can be away from the watch, but the material, the steel and the wires and all the different batteries and everything from which the watch is made can never be away from the watch. So if the cause is the material cause, then it has to be everywhere. Then your question can be, if Ishvara, all knowledge, as we have seen before, is everywhere, how come I don't see this all knowledge? All I see is nothing but different forms. We have to go back to our analysis, and we have seen already that each form which seems to us so real, so tangible, in fact it resolves into something else and something else further until the time that it is atoms, particles, and ultimately you cannot even find the substance. Then we had gone to the understanding that ultimately it is nothing but concept. But here you need to bring in one more factor, which is that all these atoms and particles, somehow they are intelligently arranged in a way that sometimes they become water, sometimes they become stone, sometimes they become human body. So what is it which arranges all these atoms and particles in all these different permutations and combinations so that what you see as forms have all different characteristics, different attributes, they can do different things. There are no two identical things in the universe. Okay? And that is what you say, that there is this all knowledge and all which has that capacity to arrange this so-called non-substance into the fine particles and ultimately in all these different forms, so that you find this varied universe. So ultimately this verse is saying that I am in form of the water atoms. What makes those water atoms what they are? The all knowledge is very much present, which makes those atoms to be the water and the characteristic of water and what the water can do for me. The whole thing is arranged within that order. And also the light of the sun, the distance of the sun from the earth, the characteristics of the sun, everything is depend upon that all knowledge. All the capacities of human being are ultimately dependent upon all knowledge. And in fact, the capacity that a human being can understand this knowledge and appreciate the presence of all knowledge, and that is all that there is, that is also given as a capacity which is part of Ishvara's creation also. So all that is here is nothing but one all knowledge which is manifesting in all these different names and forms. रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दखे पौरुषं नृषु।